So I want to welcome everybody to this Q&A for the premiere of Supremacy. Amazing film. We'll go ahead and we'll introduce everybody here, starting with the incomparable director, Deon Taylor.
My name is Deon Taylor, and I am the director of Supremacy.
Deon, why don't you go down the line and introduce this wonderful cast of characters that we have here?
Sure. Well, this is Eric, who is absolutely amazing, and he is the writer. Let's have a round of applause for Eric. Thank you.
And we're going to get into it with Eric Abrams about how he found out about this story, because as you can tell, it is based on true events.
This is Sunshine. No, I mean, this is Lela Rochan. Absolutely incredible. This is the amazing Robin. And this is my little buddy Alex. And this is my best friend, Rodney Taylor, the DP.
Okay, and this is my best friend because I think his cinematography is outstanding. And outstanding is an understatement, Rodney. So, I'm going to kick this off and then I'll toss it out to you guys. First of all, I'm taking him home, just in case anybody wants to know. Little scene stealer here. Now, I'm going to start with you, Eric, because this is a true story. It went under the radar for a lot of people. Can you talk about how this came, how you found out about it, and what led you to develop a script?
Sure, thank you, yes. Well, this is a true story. It happened in Northern California about 20 years ago. And the press at the time really focused on the tragic, of course, death of the officer and did very little about the family whatsoever. And I was looking at the newspaper clippings, and there were pages and pages about the police officer and his tragic death, and then just a little sentence or two about, oh yes, and by the way, there was a black family that was held hostage by these two. And being a writer, of course, those are the situations that draw you in immediately, because that is drama handed to you. And I knew there was a bigger story there, so I went ahead and contacted the family and began a relationship with them that continues to this day. And they got to see the movie twice now over the past couple months, and they're thrilled with it. So it was a very nice thing to see.
So, Deon, how did this then fall into your lap? This is a great chain of events here with
really
getting
cool,
this film made.
and I know everybody ready to go home, but we're going to talk for a minute. But here's what's really cool, man. Seriously, like, God is really good, and you don't never know what's going to happen in your life or what tomorrow's going to bring, and this project was one of those things for me. Damian Douglas, who is here right now, put your hand up. The sexy, cool black brother over there on the wall. We were friends, and he actually handed me the first screenplay to this movie. And he's really, really good producer, great guy, always kind of on the go, always got a bunch of stuff. And we ran into each other, and he was like, man, I got this script for you. And he actually gave me a script, and no one's ever given me a script. And I read it, and then he was obviously like, well, the script belongs to this other man. And I was like, well, who's this other man? And it was the incredible Vincent Sirissione. Vincent, come over here. Vincent, come down here, man.
Vincent. Come on,
man, come down here. Vincent used to slapping people, so he don't hang out too often. Vincent actually had the script with Eric. They were partners on this well before I ever came into this, and it was because of you, Vince. I just want to tell you thank you so much, man. Like, seriously, at this point, like, just so you guys know, like, I was in Atlanta last night. I screened this movie for Morehouse and Clark, Atlanta, 470 kids, me and Danny Glover, standing ovation, and that's what you do films for. It really is. I mean, the LA thing is really cool. I like it, but but that's what you do films for, you know. And Vince, I want to tell you thank you. Damon, I want to tell you thank you so much, man. You guys you know, I was kind of trolling around doing horror movies and trying to figure out what I was going to do next. And they were the first people to put some real material in my hands. So that's how it happened. And then from there, I went to Roxanne. I don't know where she's at, who is my producer partner.
I know she's here somewhere.
She's right there. And I begged her to please go with me to help me find the money to make this movie. And that's what happened. And we were able to scrape up $1 million and some change. I went to Rodney, told him I wanted to shoot the movie on 16 millimeter. He thought we was crazy. And then he said he's crazy too. And we just pieced it together, man. And I'm so happy right now. I'm like, you guys have no idea. I'm very, very excited. But that's kind of how it all happened. And I think that's how all movies happen, is people just kind of bump into each other, and you kind of hope this will happen and that'll happen. And fortunately for me this time, like, everything kind of really happened.
Well, and I'm glad you brought Rodney, and I'm glad Rodney's here, because so key to this film is the fact that it is shot on film. It is shot on 16 millimeter. And I know when we've talked in the past, you were very adamant. You wanted this shot on film. And I'm going to ask Rodney, the challenges and the benefits of shooting a film like this on 16 millimeter.
Well, I thought it was really important for the story to have the grit that you saw, and the 16 millimeter cameras are so small, even with all the advances in HD cameras. They're very small. They're really great handheld cameras, and we were going to do the entire picture is handheld with 2 cameras. So, and I knew we were going to be in this small house, and we wanted to get in to the smallest spaces and really, shoot with that. And also, I wanted to give Deon, the cast, as much freedom as possible to move through the house and be able to react to that. And so the cameras were great for that.
And considering that a lot of it was shot within closets, you needed something small and portable. So let me ask my favorite person out of the cast here. How was it making this film and having Deon direct you?
Well, so this was my first movie, and I've done another movie with Deon, and I think he's a great director, and I love the cast, and it was a dream of mine to go to LA, and it was a dream of mine to make a movie, so I was feeding 2 birds with 1 seed.
Sexy and smart.
And what grade are you in now?
I'm in 6th grade.
That's it?
He's 22 years old, y'all. He's 22
Yeah.
years old.
Boy, you can pick them, Deon. You can pick them. Well, let's open it up to our lovely audience here. And who has some questions that they want to ask? Gentleman right back there.
I have a question about the editing and the shooting with those flashbacks, because normally you could kind of plot out what's going to happen in film. This film, I had no clue what was going on. It gave me a Hitchcock feel, where you were here and then you take it back here. And when you would cut back to the early scenes in the truck, I had no idea we were going to go back there. Did you plan that, or was that something that went on after post-production when you were editing it and said, oh, maybe this would be cool? Or was it something that you really, really plotted out during the conception of your vision?
That's a great question.
For everybody in the back that might not have heard, pertains to the editing, the montage flashbacks, and definitely the wonderful work of Richard Molina.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, so to answer that, it was actually, when I originally got the screenplay, it was linear. It was just straight through. And I read the screenplay probably 4 or 5 times. And at that time, me and Eric had not met. And I had Eric come up to my house, and we sat, you remember that? We sat in the living room, and I was like, I got to pitch this to him because he has to hear my voice on this. And I told him the movie had to play that way. And the only reason I put it that way was because I knew going into the film, I didn't really care, and I'm just being very honest with you guys, like, I wanted to make something that was very bold, in your face. I'm not connected to a studio, I'm independent, and when I knew what Tully represented, and I had heard what the family had went through, I really wanted to be that raw, that aggressive. I didn't care about the word nigger. I didn't care about anything that would be hurtful because this is what the man brought into the house with him. The flashbacks were a really good element because it allows you to breathe. So in other words, me like doing very, very small movies, we've shot stuff for $5,000, no money, and I knew kind of when we got into the film, this would be a very, very good way to actually take the audience out of the film, out of the house, and take them somewhere else so you don't just feel like you're claustrophobic, locked in. And the flashbacks were really, really cool, man. If you notice, we really shot them straight ahead, like, you know, steady camera, like we didn't really mess around with it too much, and we allowed Joe and Don to really just do the performance, but at the same time tell the backstory over the course of this 24 hours. So yeah, it was actually put together that way.
That and cinematography were absolutely brilliant.
Man, I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
I'm with you, that absolute, both
It was a roller coaster.
technically fantastic. Right here.
Danny Glover, I fell in love with him since Queen.
Wow.
He did Queen, yeah. I love Danny Glover to death. I wish he was here, but so I could tell my mind too. I admire that man. But we unfortunately had to have the villain, and Danny Glover's my god, but the other dude who played the villain, okay, I hope in real life he's not that way.
No. You know, let me tell you something.
Who was that dude?
That's okay. So that dude was that guy's. His name is Joe Henderson, and he is from The Gray with Liam Neeson, Across the Universe,
And he's British.
and he's British. And here's the thing: was crazy. When we got ready to make the movie, he is so not this, right? And I mean, it took a lot of him practicing and researching and doing a lot of stuff to even get into this character. And what's an interesting story about this is just a week or so ago, I'm on the phone with Joe, and obviously like now with the movie being in the festivals and doing some of the things that it's been doing recently, people are really responding to this film, and that's why I'm really happy. We've been getting so much, I've been getting texts from skinheads, and I mean, I'm being for real, like death threats, and you wouldn't believe it, right? And I got on the phone with Joe, and he's telling me the same thing is happening to him. And he's one of those guys where he is English, and he's more like completely laid back, not racist, never knew racist, right? And this has been like a kick for him because he's like, yo, what did we just do? What button did we just push? And I said, hey, Joe, you remember? This is a funny story. We were shooting a movie, and this swastika that's on his face and some of the tattoos we couldn't take off overnight, so he would have to drive home after the shoot and get gas and go into the store. And I remember just 2 or 3 times he would just come back like, oh my God, mate! They're trying to kill me, mate! And I'm like, what's wrong, man? What's going on? I was just trying to get gas with my wife. You know what I mean? And you know, he would have to tell people he's making the movie, but no, he's not that. He's really cool. And Dawn, the same thing. The young lady, Dawn Olivier, is from House of Lies. She plays Don Cheadle's wife. She is brilliant. And but no, they think she has a black boyfriend. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, and I can attest to the fact that it's totally true about Joe. I've interviewed him many times over the years, and he is the nicest guy on the planet. You would never, ever expect to see him in a role like this. It's a testament to Deon's casting and to Joe's ability as an actor. Nydia in the back.
I was actually talking to a young lady in the bathroom, like, I have a headache after watching this movie. And she was like, yeah, but it's real. I was like, is it though? Would people really like that? And she was from the South, and she said, yes, this is how it is sometimes. So did you make this movie to show that these kinds of terrorist acts still happen in America? Like, what was, like, your goal? What did you want, like, the audience to get, like, from this? Should we...
Well, just to kind of jump around a little bit and answer the question, I think when you do a film like this, I started off by telling people that I'm just really a big fan of God, and this is one of those films where this really happened. This man killed someone, just got out of prison, went into a house in the middle of the night. There's nothing scarier on earth than someone waking you up out of your sleep with a gun. I don't care, you can't write that, right? And the reality is, in so many incidents today, people don't come out of these houses. And this is real. People don't come out of the grocery stores. People don't come out of the newspaper plant. This is real. And at the end of the day, yeah, I wanted to make it be what it really was. When I spoke to the family and they sat down with me and I sat down with Eric and they told me what had happened, I really went to a dark place because I said, man, this is a dark character that came into the house. And I've been on the other side of a gun before, and it's not nice. I've been shot before, and it wasn't nice. And at the end of the day, when you are a filmmaker and you want to do something and you want to explain to people how violent things are, for me, being independent, I felt like if I was going to make this film and really do it, I was going to really step out there and do it. And this really exists. And I tell people in California all the time, like my dad is here right now, we're from Gary, Indiana. And I tell people all the time, like LA and California, we're kind of in a bubble. Like we really don't understand just how much race and infighting is going on around the country. We watch CNN and we see these different things with Trayvon and, you know, what's going on in New York. This is real. This is real. Fox News is real. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you have to, as a filmmaker, be a reporter, and you have to tell real, authentic stories. And for me, when I had a chance to do this, you know, again, thanking Vince for the opportunity and Damon for the opportunity, I said to myself, man, if I don't get to make another movie, I'm gonna make something that was truthful and real and make it be, you know, make it be dope. And so I'm sorry your head hurt. But we wanted to make some hot shit, and you know, we pushed really hard to do that.
Well, I know we only have a few minutes left. I quickly want to hear something from our ladies here.
Let's hear from
because
Lela.
now to
Look
look
how
at
beautiful Lela is. Can we give her a hand?
Lela Rochan.
Can we give Lela a hand? Let me tell you, this is a true story too. So yesterday, I'm in Atlanta with Danny, and all these kids are watching this movie, right? And they are screaming and yelling. Back to the racism. So the scene comes on with Derek Luke and Julie Benz, right? No one knows Derek has a white wife in the film. The entire theater, 400 kids stand up, boo, screaming, throwing, yelling. I'm like, oh my God, why you gotta have a white woman, right? So at the very end of the thing, I'm trying to just get up and tell all these kids, like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, we sit up and talking about racism and all this other stuff, but it's the South, right? Now, fast forward to the next biggest question after Derek Luke in that scene was, who is Odessa, right? They don't know. So I said, that's Lela Rochan. So everyone's just like, that was not Lela Rochan. So we have to actually put the movie back up and let everyone see and pause it, like this at the school. And everybody's like, oh my God, that's sunshine. Hammer time. Anyways, I just want to tell you, I thought your performance was absolutely incredible. It really was. And seriously, it takes a lot when someone is as beautiful as you are, I'm telling you, and have been making a living off being beautiful. It takes a lot for you to strip it all away, put on a wig, let me tattoo your neck, you know what I mean? And put those types of clothes on you, and for you to be able to perform like that, that's why you are still relevant right now. I think you're incredible. So anyway, thank you.
I mean, both of the ladies, because you are both
I'm going to talk about her.
We're not going to talk about her? Okay, we're not going to talk about her. No, forget about it. I'm directing this one.
Okay, I'm going to do Robin next.
Now, for the ladies, how much time did you spend to get uglified? For lack of a better word. Because you two are both so beautiful, and then we see you on screen, and you are virtually unrecognizable. Deon is definitely telling the truth about that. So what was this experience like for you to go through this physical transformation, as well as the fear within the emotional transformation?
Well, for me personally, I found it to be a challenge, and I learned, I think years ago on Why Do Fools Fall in Love, when they put prosthetics on us and aged us, to leave your ego at the door, that it's really important to commit to the character and to be believable as the character, because once you become a character actress, you have a much longer career. And for me, instead of 3 hours of hair and makeup, it was like, put the pajamas on, darken the lips, darken the eyes, draw some lines on my neck, do the tattoos, and I was ready in 30 minutes and put that chia pet on my head. So I really enjoyed it because I wanted people for once not to look at how I looked, but look at my work. And that's what I was trying to accomplish.
And it is mighty fine work. And what about for you, Robin?
You know, I actually agree with what Lela said. It's really about the work. It really wasn't about aesthetically what you look like. For me, it was about really being true to what I was trying to convey at that moment. And what you have to understand, this is really based on a true story. So after understanding the plight of the woman and her story, it was about the love that I have for my children and about the moments as far as trying to find forgiveness. So that was what was most important to me. It wasn't about the makeup. It wasn't about what I looked like. I didn't really care about any of that. And working with such a lovely cast, for me, I enjoyed every single day we were on that cast. And Deon did a great job of steering that ship. So we actually enjoyed each other and really learned a lot from each other. So, you know, it was a good process all the way around.
That's great.
Now, and I know that Shane is giving me the finger signs to wrap things up, but quickly before we go, I have to know, how is she as a mother? Truth here, cover her ears, and you know, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Well, so like we had a connection off of the camera as well.
She's 22 years old, y'all. 22 years
The
old.
truth comes out.
She's very nice and she's a great mother.
What a diplomatic
True story.
young man. And one more from the audience. Lovely lady here.
I just wanted to commend everyone. It was an amazing journey. I had to exhale when it was over. I couldn't even clap, you know, it was like, wow. But when I did want to say Lela, everyone was amazing, but the scene when you walked out that door. And, you know, as an actor, I won't ask you what that process was for you, where you had to go for that, but it was amazing. I felt that connection, and it just, the whole scene just shifted with him and his eyes and the power that you took. It was amazing.
Thank you.
That scene was
Thank you.
awesome.
I mean, it's hard. For me, the first time I saw the film and saw myself, it was hard to watch. You know, it's hard to see yourself like that. But the thing that I will say about the role is it almost gave me an out-of-body experience to when I watched that scene tonight without all the anxiety of the look that I've already seen. I was able to go on the journey with her, and I have to tell you, I don't even remember doing it.
It shows.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, unfortunately, that is all the time. Do we have one more, Shane? No, we're getting a no. We're getting a no.
Okay, let me say this before we leave. I just want to tell everybody thank you so very much for being here tonight, friends and family and whoever else is here. Really, really appreciate you guys. This is a 100% independent film done with no money, with great people that just came and worked for nothing. And if you guys have an opportunity to keep supporting people like me and films like this, I think we're going to be in a very good place in the next couple of years. I definitely want to say thank you one more time to Roxanne, who is sitting there. Without you, I could not have made this movie. Vincent, I want to tell you thank you again, man. Damien, I don't know where you're at. And Ephraim, raise your hand, the 6'8" smooth brother on the wall right there. Thank you for being there with me every day, man, and being another director behind me. Even on some of the days I was like, all right, we don't want to do that. But thank you guys so very much. If you can, please tweet do whatever you do, Insta hash, or I don't know what all the stuff is called. Do it all. All right, thank you so much.
Thank all of you. Supremacy in theaters, Friday, January 30th. Tell your friends.